Hey, how are we doing today? It's Josh from the Natural Workshop. Today we are going to finish off this desk table unit that I've got for the office. Are you looking forward to it? Because I cannot wait. Awesome then, so this is where we're at. If you watched the previous video, you know that I was kind of struggling with how I was going to make the legs and the frame, because ultimately this has got to be a cost-free project, in so much as I don't want to buy any timber, I don't want to be buying any fixings. I just need to use what I've got in the shop, whatever scrap I've got, whatever paint I've got hanging around, because yeah, I don't want to spend any money. And I thought it'd be kind of an interesting experiment to see what I can make with nothing really. And I know a lot of you are going to sit there and say, oh, you got loads of MDF and you got the veneers. I don't know, man, but this is all stuff that I've had sitting around the workshop in like forever. So I think it's going to be fun. So what I decided was I'm going to make, obviously we've got the tops, you all saw those. If you haven't seen them, go back and watch the previous video. On this one, I'm going to make 4 legs, and then I'm going to put like an apron frame type thing around them. The plan is, I've got 16 pieces of 2 different sizes here, 100mm and 82mm. So basically what's going to happen is these are going to be the legs, right? So we're just going to make a box. And it should be, I've done stuff like this before, and it should be with a bit of glue along the edges, pops a whole bunch of nails in there, and that should be, that's going to be one leg. We're going to do 8 of those. Then what I've got here is I have like dominoes, right? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sets. So these are going to be the aprons for the table. What we're going to do, well, for the table and the desk, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to laminate these together, pop a whole bunch of nails in there and a whole bunch of glue, and then it's going to be 18mm. I personally find that because you've laminated it, like you've glued it and nailed it, it's a lot stronger than standard 18mm, and it's not cost me anything yet. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do. Let's get tidied up and get some space together, and I'll crack on. Right, first things first, I'm going to make sure my work area is clear, get my glue out, get my nail gun sorted. Quite often, when I'm doing something like this, I will try and figure out, there's got to be like a jig, or there's got to be a quick way to be able to smash all these out, especially when I've got a whole bunch of them to do. So I think what I might do is make a whole bunch of L's and then stick them together, and that should work. We'll see. Right then, so change of plan. This is going to take forever, so I need some sort of jig. All I'm going to do is I've got a bit of 2x3 CLS here and a bit of scrap 18mm ply. Let's knock these together. Right, so that should give me the right height. So now I can just line these up, go along, and pop that mouse in. And then what's going to happen is, we're just going to get the 2 together, make sure I get it the right way around, eh? Job's good, and that's how it's going to look, so let's get some glue on there. There we go, there's the leg. And yeah, that's going to be perfect, that is. So that's 100mm by 100mm, so basically 4-inch square. Now I just got to make another 7 of them. Okay, cool, so that's all the parts made up for the legs. I'm just going to scrape all the glue off of these and then pop them together like that on there. Awesome, so they're all scraped off. So now to get them assembled, nice and simple. 1 and 2, make sure I get the short edges. So I do this right and then screw her up. So basically it's going to be like that and that, so we'll do that. Or, boom, we'll do them like that. So, right then, nice and simple. So we'll just add a bead of glue along this edge here, then a bead of glue along this edge here. So those are what our legs are going to be like. And yeah, I think once that glue sets, they're going to be solid as, because they don't need to take any like lateral force. All the force is going to be compression on the top. Okay, cool, so we've got our 8 legs made up. That's awesome, really pleased with how they've turned out. Now I'm going to start laminating together the 9mm so that we've got 18mm thick for our aprons. So the way I go about this is real simple. I just pile on a whole bunch of glue in a nice pretty pattern. Pop a dollop in the openings and stick it on there, give it a wiggle and smash away with a hammer. Now, well, with a nail gun because I'm lazy. Now the way that I'm going to put these together, bring them in and do like a slotted system, I forget what that's called. So I'm just making sure that where I'm going to be cutting into them, I'm not hitting any nails in. And if you are interested, I'm using 15mm brads on these and 32mm brads on there. So obviously 15mm so it doesn't perforate the bottom, and 32 on there because those are the longest ones that I've got in bulk and I think they'll be the right size. Okay, cool, so everything has been glued now together, we're looking good. I've got the legs here, obviously we've got the aprons. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the legs, stick it to the end, mark down 100mm and do that on all of them, and then what I'll do is I'll take the little red square, I'll scribe across 50mm, that's where I'm going to jigsaw in and hack that bit out, do that on all of them, and then that way they'll slot together nicely. And I just need to remember to make sure that I drop 25mm down before I start screwing everything into the legs, because otherwise that's going to stuff us for the top and I'll have to figure something out and I don't want to. So yeah, cool. It's getting there, it's getting there. Right, let's crack on. Alright, cool, so we'll have a little intermission for 2 seconds because I'm just going to let that set. It's getting cold in here, so I want something that warms up. So I went and got a soup. Well, it's a proper soup in a cup, with a whole bunch of, like, with a nice scoop of butter in there and some seasonings and stuff, because we all know they take the nice stuff out. Well, in the UK they take all the good stuff out of the pre-made stuff that you buy. So I've got a nice pea and ham soup here. But what is your favourite snack when you're working in the workshop? So like, I like cookies, I like chocolate, I'm going to say everything right now. I like cookies and chocolate. I don't really eat a huge amount of chocolate. I like crisps. I'm a huge fan of chips and dip. So I make my own nacho cheese and stuff like that. And I quite like cereal, like out the bag with no milk. That's awesome. In the winter though, a nice soup is like beautiful. Because like in here it's about 10 degrees at the moment, so which is what, maybe 40 or 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, so I like something that warms up. So tell me below, what is your favourite snack to have while you're working, yeah? That'd be awesome. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Right, let's get back to it, shall we? Right, so there's been a little change of plan. Originally I was going to jigsaw these, which is why I've marked them all out. I realised whilst I was having a bit of soup, that was a stupid idea, because I've got the table saw, I can set up a stop and just knock them all out, real simple, real easy, and everything will be the same, so that's perfect. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll cut all of the outside edges, flip them, do all of them, then I'll move the stop over, do all of the inside edges, and either jigsaw the ends out or just like left and right them and get the saw blade to take out all of the material. But yeah, work smart, not hard, eh? Smart, not hard. So I don't know if you saw that, but I just hit a nail. That sucks. Hopefully it won't have dulled the blade too much. What can you do, eh? I'll set it up on one of the small ones because that's going to be easier, isn't it? Now the beauty of my sled is this is a zero clearance inset, so this is exactly where I need it to be, hopefully. So I can just line them up and tighten it up. If you are wondering how I'm not managing to cut my hands off, I have a big block here that's bright orange and it sticks out 18mm and it's chamfered off, so I know that if my thumbs are against that, there's no way it's going to come into contact with the blade, which is obviously very important. Okay, so let me show you the stop block that I've got on here, or the block that I use to protect my thumbs and my fingers. So this is 2 inches either side of this. This is a bit of 3/4 inch MDF, 80mm MDF. So yeah, I've got about 50mm clearance both sides. And then that way I know that when I hoik my thumb up against that, my fingers need to stay in front of it and I'm not going to get them chopped off. I know a lot of people in the UK hate sleds and I don't really know why. Yeah, I don't really know why people hate them. I think they're perfectly safe as long as you know what you're doing. And as long as you don't act like an idiot with them. I could try and work it as like I have a safe zone on there, right? So like when you go shooting, you have your arcs and it's the same sort of thing. It's the same thing when you use a route table, you know where to put your hands and where you don't put your hands. I think you just have to be like, you got to use your intelligence with it. And maybe some people don't have very much intelligence or common sense, right? Common sense is not very common anymore, I don't think. Right, let's put this together and see what the apron looks like. Well, check that out. So they worked perfect. I'm really pleased with how they've turned out, and they're a nice friction fit as well. So yeah, perfect, really. Nice and level on the top as well. Look, even better. So the legs are going to fit in these sections here. I'll get these legs put in. I'll get everything sanded, painted, and we'll be good to go. What do you think to this then, eh? So that fits together perfectly. Look at those edges. Perfectly flush. I'm really pleased with that. Super duper pleased. So, the way that I've arranged them is so that on the long edges, all of the nail holes are on the inside. On the sections out on the outside, I've obviously filled them because I'm not a heathen. I did debate not filling them, and I was just like, we'll just do it. It'll only take 20 minutes. So, they're all filled. Legs are all filled and sanded, so they're lovely, and I've taken the sharp edge off there because obviously when you're painting, a sharp edge is going to chip off, and I don't want that, especially with something like black, because it's going to be a pig to recoat and it'll be very obvious. I've got all the legs done. I've set myself up with basically a 25mm offset. All of my legs are going to sit like this. I've made it so that this is a desk. So I'm going to be sitting on this side, client's going to be sat on that side. So the edges, if we do have any issues with the painting, so that we have a nice solid face facing out. Because obviously, if you painted MDF before, you know that the edge grain can be a right pig. I haven't got anything to fill it with. I'm not too concerned about it because it is a cheap job. Obviously, if I was doing it for a client, I'd sort it out and it'd be pitch perfect. But I'm not. That's how it's going to work. The big one's on the floor, exactly the same as this. I'm going to pop a whole bunch of nails in, pop a bunch of glue in there, fill the nail holes, and then I'll leave it until tomorrow and give it a quick sand and then get coat of paint on it. And then we can get in the other room, get the tabletop on it, make sure everything's perfect, and figure out if I'm going to stain the top or stick some more on. That being said, I'm going to do this, go home and get in the wall. I'll see you in the morning. Right, how are we doing then? So, tomorrow is now today. You might be wondering, why have you got it on the bench, Josh? Well, I screwed up. I was cold, I was tired, my back hurt, all excuses, none of it really matters. I screwed up, so let's fix it, right? And in the interest of a bit of social media honesty, which I'm always bragging on about, I thought I'd include you guys in it so you can see. Basically, these cross sections here and on the other side, I screwed up with. They're supposed to be on the other one's supposed to be on here. So this is supposed to be wider, the other one's supposed to be thinner. So what we're going to do is I'm going to cut here on both pieces, use the old jigsaw base as a guide so that they're both cut in the same place. Cut on both sides. This one I'm going to lengthen out and add another strip of 9mm MDF in here, and then I'll put some spacer blocks in, fill the thing full of nails because I don't want to glue because I'm going to hoping to be painting later, and we'll do that on both sides and probably fill the front so you can't tell, fill and sand it. And on the other one I'm going to cut it in the centre, drop them down to each other, so we'll make it thinner, put another piece of 9mm in there, and job's good in. Let's get that done so I can get them painted then. Okay, so here's the repair that we've done. As you can see, here's the space that's been put in here and the piece of 3mm that's been fronted onto it. I think in reality, nobody's ever going to know that we've got an extra piece of material in there and this here. In an ideal world, is this the best way to replace it? Well, maybe, maybe not. You could splice in there. I think for this one down here, 100% the best way to fix this would have been to cut a 45 in here and push them together, more gluing area and all that sort of stuff. But in reality, is anybody going to see it? Is it going to matter? And I would argue the answer to both of those questions is no. So we're going to continue on as we are, go get the painting done so we can get this all put together. So this is what we're going to use for the paint. This is Off Black by Farrow & Ball, look. Oh, very nice. Hey, happy days. There we go then. There are the legs. Quite impressed with that. Don't worry about all of this that hasn't been finished because that's where the top's going to sit on. But yeah, quite tidy really. And you can sort of see, but I think unless you're sitting there taking proper looks at it, you ain't going to see nothing. And for those of you sitting there thinking, why on earth is he putting Farrow & Ball on a cheap job? Can you see how much that cost us? 2.5 litres for £5. Check it out! 2 coats of the Farrow & Ball has turned out lovely, I think. Right, so next job, we're gonna have to clear this desk out here, get that out of the room. I'm gonna go and oil the top, and then it's time to get it back in here and get it assembled, eh? Cannot wait. So irritatingly, I was gonna use Treatex on this because everybody knows that's my favourite finish, but I'm all out, which sucks. And I need to get this done like today or tomorrow. So, I'm gonna Danish oil it, and hope it doesn't ruin it. But I think we should turn out alright. I reckon this is going to look nice when we have the contrast between the like the darker grain and the lighter grain, but we'll see. I'll let you guys have a look and tell me what you think. Look at that! So good! What do you think to the oil on the wood? Man, that looked good. I was genuinely super excited. Michelle laughs at me so much for this. Putting oil on wood, beautiful. Right, I genuinely loved it. So, desk has been moved out. The old desk has been moved out. New one's been moved in. Everything's sorted, squared away. I've had to put another coat of Danish oil on there, so it's just drying, so no bits and pieces on it yet, but do you want to see what it looks like in place? I'm super pleased with it. Here we go. Check that out. Man, I am really pleased with how this looks. I think it looks awesome. What do you think, guys? So obviously we have the desk unit here. So this is where the main computer, and I'm going to be doing the majority of my work. I've got this section down here. This is going to have the laser printer on. I'm going to have some old tools and bits and pieces set up over in the corner here for taking pictures. At some point, I'm going to stick a false window board on there so it looks really good. But and I might even get this bad boy mounted up on the wall, I think. But we'll see. But yeah, what do you think, hey? Considering that this is all built from scrap, right? It's cost me 0 pennies. I've not had to put any money into it. You know, some glue, a few nails and bits and pieces, nothing more that you wouldn't have lying around. But obviously I'm very lucky to have the scrap that I do, fully understand that. But I'm really, look at it. It's blown my mind, to be honest with you. At the beginning of the project, I didn't think it was going to look that good. What do you think? Do you like it? Are you impressed with what I did? Are you impressed with what we, well, I was going to say, but like what we've created? I genuinely would love to hear your comments. Please let me know down below what you think of the 2 videos that I put up. I'm really hoping to do some different builds. I've got a couple ideas. I'm maybe going to start on them today or tomorrow, but we'll see. Like I said, do me a favour, please hit the like button, leave a comment below whether it's good or bad, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because the algorithm works on all that stuff, and if you don't do any of it, then nobody's going to see the video. So if you think it's worthwhile watching, please do that. That's awesome. I hope you've enjoyed it. You'll have an awesome day, and I shall catch you on the next video, alright? You take it easy, have fun.